All right. So here's the deal. So if you're the worst team, you get the first pick because you need the most help you can get, right? So you get the most help you can get because you need to upgrade your team. And ideally, you get 2 or 3 picks. You traded in the offseason. Cleveland Browns, they are in dire need of some picks. They need to essentially transform their entire team. Said differently, that's their circle of influence. Those are the people that are going to move the team towards their goals. Okay? If you're the best team, you're probably surrounding yourself around really good people. So what do you get? You get the worst pick because you don't really need to upgrade your circle. And then you have the teams in the middle. They're just good enough to not get the best pick, and they're just good enough to not win any championships. The pain of the Miami Dolphins. I just described my entire life. Okay? We're good enough to not get the best pick, but we're bad enough to not get to not get any type of playoff opportunity. I think about some of you in this room right now. We don't attract the people that need that first pick. And some of you in this room are probably not in the situations where you are completely set, where the people that are influencing you the most are leading you to championship victories in all aspects of your life. You're probably somewhere right in the middle, where some people in your circle that you're writing down need to get upgraded. Some of those people in your life need to be benched and replaced with a new draft. And that's what I did. I went through this circle of influence and I said, who do I spend my time with? Who is influencing my decisions? And you know what? There were some people in my life that I realized that they are not moving me closer to my goals. So you know what I said? I said, I've got to replace you. I love you, but I need to replace you. Because you're not moving me closer to my goals. And if you're not moving me closer, you're moving me further away. There's no in between. There's no such thing as a banana. It's either growing ripe or it's growing rotten. There's no in between. With you and your goals, you're either moving towards it, you're moving away from it. There's no in between. And your team and your circle needs to get upgraded. So what I'm going to encourage you to do, and I'm going to enroll you to do, is I'm going to invite you to do, is to upgrade your circle. I'm going to encourage you to go through that list, get to 20, and say, you know what? If I had to replace 1 or 2 people on this list, and you know what? Some of those people, they might be really, you might love them a lot. In fact, one of the people I had to replace off my team, I love dearly. But I got to stop letting them influence my decisions. Because it's limiting me. We have that one friend that, you know what, we're trying to eat healthy, and they're like, come on. Come on. Come on. Cheat day. Cheat day. Come on. All you can eat sushi, dude. Come on. It's like, you're right. I can eat a lot of sushi. Let's go. Right? Right? So it doesn't, I need, that's a cancerous person towards my health goals. I love them, but it doesn't help. I need to upgrade. I need to replace them. That doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to them. I'm not going to hang out with them, but I got to find someone else to be a part of my team. And then on your team, you get your starting lineup, and that's called your crew. And your crew is like your top 5. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with the most. And I'll tell you right now, if your top 5 people are in this room, I bet your ass you're going to have a very exciting summer and future. Know why? Because they are like-minded like you. They have the disciplines, they have the drive, they know what to say yes to, they know what to say no to, and if they're in this room, especially in the front row, those are the people you want to hang out with because they're going to challenge you to be the best version of you. I'm going to challenge you to be the best version of you, and that's what we're out to accomplish. That's a good friend. And if you have people on your list, it's time to upgrade. I'm going to come back to that here in just a moment, but I wanted to introduce full circle of this. We talked about circle of influence. Mr. Gamboa just talked about the conference, the highlights, the circle of influence, the alliance. And I want to go off for a very quick, for a moment, okay, of how this all comes full circle. So Tampa Bay Lightning, they were born in 1992, for those of you guys that didn't know. And what's interesting enough is Tampa Bay Lightning only have 1 generation of fans. So what that means is they're a young team. And in fact, when they were just playing Boston, they restricted the other opposing team to allow them to wear their jerseys and everything inside the arena because they wanted to control the vibes and the environment that their players are playing in. So they wanted to do whatever they could to try to win, essentially being resourceful, which I thought was interesting. They're playing against a team, Boston, who's been around since 1924. Boston is the fourth most winningest team in NHL history. Okay, they've won they're fourth most Stanley Cups in history. They're fantastic. Now they're up against Washington Capitals, who's been around since 1974. 42 seasons with the league, 27 playoffs, and 0 Stanley Cups. So they're up against some serious competition who also are hungry for victory. And they had this guy, Stamkos, right? This guy, Stamkos. I'm not extremely well versed, but when I heard the story, it's pretty impressive. They recruited this guy back in the early 2000s, and back in 2008, and that's when he started. He's been an all-star. It took him about 3 years to become an all-star, but he's been an all-star now 4 of the last 5 years. Okay, this is a guy who led his team from what they were. They were good. 2004, they won the Stanley Cup, and then they had a couple low years, and then they recruited this guy and helped them elevate through the ashes. And now they've been a pretty good team. And now they're in the freaking playoffs, and they have a shot at the Stanley Cup because of this guy. That was like our Doug Sanson, who I showed you in that video. Doug was our game changer. He was our Stamkos. He was the foundation of what we were building as a game changer team. And through Doug, we created people like a Dylan Fitz. You know, Dylan Fitz is now our game changer. Doug moved on and runs his own business, and then through Dylan. And then through Dylan, now we have the Delilah of the world running her senior branch office in Pensacola. And it's kind of branched out. That's kind of like this guy, Nikita Kucherov, who's 2 years in a row now an all-star. Rookie kind of guy. But 2 years in a row, they recruited this guy from Russia to come and be the next wave. Stamkos is injured. They need to bring that next wave just in case things don't work out with Stamkos. They have a next layer of talent and development. What does that have to do with us? I think about our history as a Clearwater Game Changer team. You think about like a Tampa organization. There's been a manager in Tampa since the late 90s. They have representatives like Ray Reed living in Tampa who's been selling Cutco longer than me. And he's at over $1 million+ in sales. They have the most talented group of Cutco sales professionals that just about any other city in the country. It's a hotbed for talent in Tampa, Florida. Then you have Fort Lauderdale with a guy named Andy Jonte who's at $2 million in Cutco sales. The Pilot organization, one of the most profound teams and prolific organizations in vector marketing. Then you have Andrew Evans, Rookie of the Year last year, Branch Silver Cup champion 2 years in a row, record-breaking organization in Metro Miami. This is our competition, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going into the playoffs right now, which is the SC1 push. That's our playoffs. And we're up against these amazing teams and these amazing organizations. And I'll tell you right now, we're very light at the top. We're light at the top. We have good people, but they have more and they have better. But we're good, but they have more and they have better. So what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to recruit an army. I'm looking to recruit an army of people that will lock arms with me, that I could take the new talent that we have in this room, plus your friends that you help us build this team with, and I raise them and raise you in a healthy environment to get you to essentially offset what the Andy Jontes of the world and the Ray Reeds of the world and the Jamie Kings of the world who are at millions and millions of dollars of Cutco sales. I'm looking to offset their talent with your work ethic is essentially what I'm looking for. We're doing this through our team building. We're doing this through our advertising. We're doing this through being selective and only bringing on top talent. We're doing this through champions clubs. We're doing this through giving young coaches a chance to coach. They have no business coaching in any other organization. No business at all. But giving them a chance to inspire other people. We're looking to scale our business. We're running local events. Where we're doing advertising at schools. We're triple threading. We're recruiting. We have surge consultants and apprentices. That's how we're doing this. That's how we're competing. And we're doing well. Number 11 in the nation last week. But the playoffs is a time for us to elevate. We've worked for 8 months as a team behind the scenes to get to this point. That starts in 2 weeks. We've worked for 8 months behind the scenes. We're in the position, our Super Bowl, the playoffs are now, the Super Bowl's in July. That's the SC2 push. That's the Super Bowl. That's every organization, every team against every other team. So I want you to imagine for just a moment, I want you to imagine an event to kind of wrap up our meeting here. I want you to imagine an event where, in fact, close your eyes for just a moment. Close your eyes for a moment. So that way there's no distractions of time for just a moment. I just want you to close your eyes and just imagine, just use my words for a moment. I want you to imagine walking into a room where you hear the music. You're like, what's that? Keep your eyes closed. You know, what's that? What's that noise? And the room, the doors open up and the music gets so loud. People are standing on their chairs, clapping, high fives, like crazy, crazy loud people from all across the state of Florida driving to this location. People are giving you high fives, saying, what team are you from? And you say, oh, I'm a Clearwater Game Changers. And say, oh, wow. You work with Mike Abramowitz. You work with one of the best teams in the country. And it makes you stand a little taller. It makes you feel a little bit better, a little bit stronger about your opportunity. You watch your team. We take up 3 rows of this conference. There's 200 people. We take 3 rows deep. We have 30, 40 people clapping hands, high fives. Everyone's getting crazy. And then they do this countdown. And the team comes up. It's us. It's Metro Miami. It's Fort Lauderdale. It's Tampa. And we're all in the front of the room. And the countdown begins. And you hear $100,000. Boom. We're staying, we're standing strong. 110,000, 120,000. We're still standing strong. The staff is up there. We're like, oh, snap, we have a shot. And we take down some of the juggernauts of our division. The Fort Lauderdale, the Tampa organization, the Metro Miami team. And you have so much pride saying, I contributed to that $120,000 push. I did my part. The culture afterwards, the army that we have afterwards, the camaraderie afterwards, the friendships afterwards. It's exciting. And while your eyes are closed for a moment, I want you to think, when you're standing in your chairs, what did you contribute? How much was your contribution to that $100,000+ that we sold as a team? What was the number that you felt so proud about? That you said, you know what, I did my part. What was your contribution to that $100,000+ push? I want you to imagine for just a moment. I want you to visualize your number. I want you to visualize your number. I want you to think about watching other people take a trophy at this conference. Top 10 take a trophy. And maybe one of those top 10 is you. You watch other people step forward at $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 and get invited for this VIP night experience. $15,000 and they win a gourmet set and you're like, oh my God, that's me. Or that's exciting for one of my friends. $20,000 getting an iPad just for doing your job. Maybe you broke the record or witnessed someone break the record. What was your contribution? Did you have Mr. Gamboa come up to you and compliment your push and say, great effort, great job? Hey, my name is Mr. Gamboa. My name is Jeff. What's your name? Or is it vice versa where you introduce yourself? Are you excited about the paycheck that you got from this? How much money did you put in your bank account? Or did you put in a deposit down for that new thing you wanted to buy, whether it's school or a material thing? How many promotions did you hit during this time frame? How much growth did you experience? How many recommendations do you now have? I want you to imagine this event and what this set you up for beyond this event. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel everyone being proud of you. I want you to feel being proud of yourself. Of this number, whatever that number is that you visualize yourself doing at this one moment right now. Against the odds that you hit your number. Against the odds, you said, you know what, I stuck with it. It was tough, but I did it anyway. Against the odds, I drove an hour to that office to get coached by Mike and the rest of the team. Against the odds, I did that number. What is that number that excites you? What is your individual contribution? What does this number bring you? When you open your eyes in just a moment, I want you to capture that number. I want you to write it down on a sheet of paper. What was that number that you contributed? Go and open your eyes, write down that number. What was that number that you said, you know what, I am proud of that number. I did my part for this team. I did my part for this team. I did my part for my goals. I did my part for what I wanted to get accomplished out of this knife job this summer. And this is what elevated us towards that next level to have a shot at the Stanley Cup. Because if by us winning this playoff game right now, this SC1 conference, that's what's going to position us for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl last year took $400,000 in sales to win. We want to have a shot at that. We got to do at least $100,000 for this playoff competition. at minimum. Last year we got close. Yeah, last year we did 70-something thousand, and then for SC2 we did just right at 250,000. We did well, but if we want to elevate, it starts now. It starts with the foundation in this room. So to wrap up our meeting, I want very quickly, I want you to shout out what that number was. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to see what that adds up to. I'll see what that adds up to, and we'll see if that's going to position us for having a shot, because here's the kicker. Ready? That number that you're about to give, that we're about to add up, in fact, Will, why don't you add this up for us, okay? And Chelsea, you could add up too, just in case he messes up his calculation, okay? So we'll have 2 calculators going. Ready? We also have 4 more training classes before that competition too. So whatever your numbers add up to, plus that competition, plus our training classes, let's see what, pound for pound, what we could do as a team if we had hit our best. Ready? Don't change your number. You already wrote it down. It's documented.
Is it for the summer?
For the 2 weeks of the push. 2-week competition, the competition that Mr. Gamboa was just talking about. Let's go ahead and capture these numbers. So we'll start with the same order that we did the what's hot, what do you appreciate. Let's capture these numbers. Let's go for it. Trey.
10,003.
10,003.
Yeah.
Jesse.
7,500.
7,500. Josh.
10,500.
10,500. Mason.
15K.
15K. Taylor.
5,000.
5,000. RJ.
10,004.
What number did you write down?
10,000.
10,000. Saf.
10,000.
Brenda.
10,000.
5,000.
Ryan. 5,000. Sierra.
5,200.
5,200. Chels.
5,000.
Will. What?
1,000.
5,000.
Kayla. 5,000. Nicole? No, I'm just kidding. Bella.
2,000.
You said 1,000?
Yeah.
Trip.
8,000.
Jules.
5,000.
And Alicia.
1,000.
What would that number add up to?
Yeah.
What does that add up to?
114,203.
So $114,000. 103. I want to end on this. $114,000. Plus we have 4 more training classes. Plus we have Dylan. Plus we have an event at the Tropicana Field. Ladies and gentlemen, we could do something amazing. I'm counting on you to do your part. If you want help, if you want the positive pressure, if you want the coaching, and if you want the circle of influence to help you get that done, you stick around afterwards. I'm going next door. I will map out a plan. I'll show you what it will take, and I will coach you every dag-on morning of that push to make sure that you hit your goals and we hit our goals as a team. Thank you for your engagement, your energy, your focus, your contribution, and helping us lead our team to history and what will be an epic summer here in 2018 and beyond.